The year was 3295. The galaxy had moved on from the age of humans. To most alien civilizations, Earth was nothing more than a ruined world. A graveyard left behind after wars and famine had wiped out its peoples centuries ago. Humanity, once loud and ambitious, had become a forgotten story told to children in alien schools. But then it happened. A signal moved across the galaxy like a cold knife in the dark. It was short. It was sharp. It was unlike anything anyone had heard in 100 years. A voice. A human voice. "This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain." The words repeated again and again, carried on encrypted waves that no empire could block. Every ship, every station, every council world, they all received the same transmission at the same time. First, most dismissed it. The Terran Confederacy laughed, calling it an old ghost transmission. The Draxan Dominion said it was a trick, maybe planted by rebels to cause chaos. But others did not laugh. Some remembered what humans were, remembered the wars when humans fought like no other species, when their small fleets had broken. Larger empires through pure rage and cunning. In the Council of Nine, the galaxy's ruling body, the great leaders gathered in their chamber. The chamber was built into the heart of the Citadel, a massive station floating above the neutral world of Zareth. Holograms of alien rulers filled the circle, their voices overlapping in panic and disbelief. "This must be false," hissed Chancellor Vale of the Dominion, his scaled face tightening. "The humans are dead. We burned their world." "We burn it enough?" asked Elder Thal from the high nest, her wings twitching with unease. The signal came from Sol, from Earth itself. A silence followed. No one wanted to admit it. No one wanted to believe that the planet of ashes had spoken. A deep-voiced alien from the iron-skinned Kroll Empire struck the table. "It is a provocation. Someone wishes to frighten us." But the words of the broadcast echoed again through the chamber. "This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain." Some counselors laughed nervously. Others whispered in fear. A few remained frozen, their memories dragging them back to wars long past. The representative of the small loom species spoke softly. "You all forget. My ancestors fought the humans. They never lied before they struck. If they say doom is coming, then doom will come." Arguments broke out. Some demanded fleets to investigate Earth. Others warned that even approaching the Sol system was dangerous. Shouting, threats, and fear. In the shadows, observers recorded the chaos, sending feeds across the galaxy. Citizens everywhere heard the rumor. Humans are alive. Some laughed at the thought. Others prayed. Many were simply afraid. On the far side of the chamber, one council member remained silent. His name was Rocker, an old strategist of the Vare Coalition. His species had once traded with humans, long ago, before Earth's fall. He remembered their strange ways, their stubbornness, their ability to adapt where others would break. Finally, when the shouting began to die, Rocker spoke. His voice was low, calm, and cold. "You fools ask the wrong question. It does not matter if the humans are many or few. It does not matter if this is a bluff or truth. What matters is that this voice was not afraid. Think carefully who sends a message like this unless they are ready to act." The chamber grew still. Even the loudest counselors felt a chill run through them. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, ordinary people argued and speculated. On trade stations, merchants replayed the signal again and again, their eyes wide. On frontier colonies, soldiers tightened their patrols, looking to the stars as if expecting ghosts. Pirates who once boasted of raiding human relics now grew silent, fearing a curse might follow them. The signal played without end, repeating every cycle impossible to block or jam. And each time it was heard, more began to believe. "This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain." Back in the council chamber, Chancellor Vale slammed his fist once more. "Even if they survived, they are nothing. A scattered people. Broken, they cannot harm us." But Elder Thal whispered again, her voice trembling. "What if they are still out there? What if they waited, watching us hiding in the dark all this time? Her words hung in the air like smoke. Every leader thought the same thought, but feared to speak it. If humans were alive, they had been silent for centuries. Silent, patient, waiting. And if this was their first word to the galaxy in 100 years, then what came after would not be peace. The broadcast echoed once more, filling the chamber. The voice was steady, human, cold. This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain. The chamber lights flickered as if the message itself carried weight. And in that silence, Rocker, the old strategist, leaned back and whispered words that froze every heart that heard them. The signal had not stopped. For 7 full days, across every star system, across every empire, the human voice repeated like a heartbeat of doom. This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain. The words did not change. Tone did not change. And that, perhaps, was what frightened so many. There was no anger, no plea, no weakness, only cold certainty. At the Citadel, the Council of Nine argued without rest. Reports flooded in from every corner of the galaxy: riots, prayers, soldiers refusing orders, colonies demanding protection. Even the strongest empires felt something they had not known for generations: fear. Finally, action was agreed upon. A fleet would be sent to Sol, the old home system of humanity. They would prove once and for all that the signal was nothing but an echo from the past. The Vorth Dominion, arrogant and cruel, offered their ships first. Their commander, Admiral Korvik, was known for his brutality. He had crushed rebellions, burned colonies, and laughed while doing it. To him, humans were nothing more than a story. If they are alive, I will burn them again, he promised before leaving the chamber. The fleet set out 20 warships, sleek and armed with the latest weapons. They entered hyperspace with confidence. But confidence is not the same as safety. When they emerged in the Sol system, the silence was overwhelming. Earth hung in the distance, a dark and broken world. Its once blue oceans were brown and gray. Cities lay in ruins, visible even from orbit. No satellites greeted them, no defense grid, no signs of life. Only a dead world circling a quiet star. Admiral Korvik laughed. A graveyard, he said. To his crew, this is the mighty humanity. Dust and ash. Their message is nothing but a trick. But not everyone laughed. On the bridge of a smaller ship in the fleet, Captain Saren of the Loom species felt a chill. Her people had fought humans once and nearly been destroyed by them. She studied the ruined planet carefully, noting details others ignored. The cities looked bombed, yes, but some ruins seemed recent. Some fires looked too fresh. Admiral, she called over the comms. Something is not right. The scans show energy pockets under the surface. Korvik dismissed her with a growl. Geothermal activity. Do not embarrass yourself with ghost stories. Still, her crew grew nervous. They reported faint signals moving in the upper atmosphere. Strange echoes in the ruins of New York, of Moscow, of Beijing. Old cities, long thought dead. One scout ship, the Draxon's Pride, was sent down to Earth's surface. Its mission, capture data, confirm no human life. The ship descended into the clouds, vanishing from sight. Minutes passed, silence, then a final message crackled across the comms. A whisper, broken with static. They are watching us. The signal cut. The scout ship was gone. The fleet panicked. Korvik barked orders, but his crew looked uneasy. Some whispered that the humans had risen from the ruins. Others swore they saw shadows moving across the planet's surface. Then it came again, second broadcast. This time not across the galaxy, but directly into their fleet's comms. Clearer, closer. We see you. Pause. We never forgive. The bridge of every ship went cold. Even Korvik stopped smiling. The voice was not old, not broken. It was sharp, alive, human. Captain Saren gripped her console tightly. She turned to her officers, her voice trembling. It cannot be a trick. The signal came from Earth itself. The crews grew restless. Some demanded retreat. Others wanted to attack the planet and burn what was left. Korvik, proud and reckless, chose the second option. "Target the ruins," he ordered. "If they hide below the ashes, we will smoke them out." The fleet charged weapons. Beams of fire lit the skies as alien ships struck Earth once again. Cities crumbled into deeper ruin. Dust storms rose into the atmosphere. For a moment, there was silence. The aliens thought they had ended the ghost. Then the planet answered. Hidden batteries under the ruins came alive. Energy beams shot upward, tearing through 3 Dominion ships in seconds. Ancient satellites flickered to life, not dead after all, spitting fire into the void. The Sol system had become a graveyard once again, but this time the dead were not human. 3 Dominion warships burned in orbit, their wreckage falling into Earth's ruined atmosphere like fire raining from the sky. The rest of the fleet scattered, panic ripping through their comms. On the bridge of his flagship, Admiral Korvik roared in fury. "Hold formation. It is only one ship, one relic. Destroy it." But no one answered with confidence. The human warship moved slowly, its hull scarred and rusted, its surface covered. In ancient burns, it looked like a ghost, a broken thing that should not fly. Yet its weapons had awakened with terrifying speed. The power behind those first shots had cut through Dominion ships like paper. Captain Saren of the Loom species stared at the tactical display, her heart pounding. "That ship should not exist," she whispered. "It is centuries old, yet it fights like a predator." Her crew shifted nervously, waiting for orders. She gave only one. "Keep distance. Watch carefully. Do not be the next to die." Across the fleet, Korvik's ships tried to regroup. Energy blasts streaked across the void, but the human vessel moved with unnatural precision, dodging fire that should have struck true. Each return volley from the warship found its target, crippling another ship, shattering hulls, tearing confidence apart. And then, just as suddenly as it had attacked, the warship went silent, its guns dimmed, its engines cooled. It drifted once again, like a corpse in space. A trap. Korvik narrowed his eyes. "It is trying to frighten us," he spat. "It hides behind tricks. Do you fear rust and shadows? Press the attack." But deep down, even he felt the truth. This was not random. This was not luck. This was a plan. Serene's sensors flickered. She leaned forward, studying the data with horror. "Admiral, it is not alone." From behind the moon, more shapes began to stir. At first they looked like broken satellites, space junk left behind from humanity's last wars. But then the junk aligned. Engines flickered, lit with power. One ship became 5. 5 became 20. And soon dozens of massive human warships emerged from the darkness. Their hulls battered but alive, like a fleet of corpses awakened from the grave. Gasps spread across the alien comms. Voices shouted over one another. "Impossible. How can they still have ships? This cannot be real." But it was real. Humanity's ghost fleet had revealed itself. The human ships did not rush forward. They waited, lined in silence, their weapons cold, but ready. It was as if they wanted the aliens to see them, to feel the weight of their presence before the storm. And then, the broadcast returned. "This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain." The words echoed across every alien vessel. But now, something was different. The voice no longer sounded like a recording. It was sharp, alive, filled with intent. "They were hiding," Saren whispered. "All these years. They were waiting." For this moment, on the bridge of Korvik's ship, fear finally touched even his hardened crew. One officer turned to him, voice shaking. "Admiral, we must withdraw. We cannot fight this." Korvik struck him down with a clawed hand. "Cowards. If we retreat, the Council will mock us. The galaxy will laugh at us. No better to die here than run from ghosts." He raised his voice to the entire fleet. "Charge weapons. Show these humans that the Dominion does not kneel." But his order was drowned out by new alarms. Sensors screamed warnings. A field of energy was forming. Across the fleet, the ghost fleet was powering up, its engines glowing, weapons warming like the fires of hell. Saren clenched her fists. She knew what was coming. The trap was complete. Her second officer turned to her, whispering in terror, "They lured us. Here, they wanted us to attack. They wanted us to call reinforcements." Serene's eyes widened. He was right. The Dominion had already signaled for backup fleets to join them. Reinforcements were on their way. And when they arrived, they would not find a victory. They would fly straight into a massacre. The human plan became clear. Earth was no graveyard. It was bait. The humans had hidden their fleet in silence, pretending extinction, waiting for the galaxy to grow arrogant. And when the Dominion came, they lit the trap. Corvix snarled, refusing to see it. "All ships forward. We will drown them in fire." The Ghost Fleet finally moved. Dozens of engines roared at once, shaking the void. Human warships advanced. With perfect formation, their weapons now fully charged. Their silence ended with thunder. The first volley struck like judgment. Alien ships erupted in fire, shields crumbling in seconds. The Dominion fleet screamed in chaos as more ships were torn apart. Corvix's flagship shook violently, systems failing one by one. "Impossible," he shouted, but even his own voice trembled. "They should be dead." Through the smoke and chaos, Captain Saren whispered the truth none wanted to hear. They were never gone. They were waiting. And now the galaxy will pay. On every channel, the voice came again, colder, stronger, filled with fury that had been silent for centuries. "We see you. We never forgive. Your doom is certain." And with those words, the Ghost Fleet opened fire once more, and the Dominion fleet began to die. Word count: approximately 920. Third-person narration. Simple English suspense escalates. Trap revealed. Ghost Fleet arrives, ends with cliffhanger leading to Part 4. Do you want me to continue? Into Part 4, humanity's Ghost Fleet, the full power of their fleet and their AI-driven vengeance in the same 900 to 950 word style. You said, Part 4, ChatGPT said. Great. Let's continue with Part 4, humanity's Ghost Fleet. I'll expand it into a 900 to 950 word cinematic chapter in third-person narration. Simple, basic English, suspenseful tone. Keeping your audience hooked for the next part. Part 4. Humanity's Ghost Fleet, approximately 930 words. The Sol system burned. Wreckage from Dominion ships drifted through the void, their twisted metal glowing like dying stars. Fire spread across the black sky as the Ghost Fleet advanced. And the alien fleet could deny it anymore. Humanity was alive. Captain Saren gripped her console as her crew shouted in panic. Her vessel shook from shockwaves as another Dominion cruiser was torn in half by a single blast from a human warship. The Ghost Fleet moved with terrifying unity. They did not fight like scattered survivors. They fought like hunters who had rehearsed this moment for centuries. Admiral Corvix still raged on his flagship, his voice loud and defiant. They are few. They are rust. Break their line. But his crew no longer believed him. Every strike from the Dominion fleet missed or glanced away, while human fire hit with cruel precision. It was as if the humans knew every weakness, every blind spot. The largest of the human shipset's hull, scarred by centuries of battle, suddenly broadcast across all channels. Voice filled the comms, cold and merciless. You hunted us. You mocked us. Now you will see why we survived. The words froze. Every alien heart. Some believed it was an AI. Others whispered that it was a human commander, speaking from the shadows. None could be sure, and that mystery made it worse. Corvix snarled. Board them. Tear the truth from their corpses. He ordered assault craft to launch toward the closest human warship, but the humans had planned for this. As the Dominion craft approached, the Ghost Fleet unleashed clouds of drones, small, fast, metallic predators. They swarmed the assault. Craft like a living storm, cutting them apart with blades of light. No pilot survived. This is madness, Saren muttered, unable to look away. They've turned their dead fleet into a weapon beyond anything we've seen. The truth began to spread across the surviving ships. This was not simply a battle. It was a warning. The Ghost Fleet didn't just want victory. They wanted witnesses. Each time a Dominion vessel was destroyed, human ships pulled back just enough to let others escape. They wanted survivors to carry the tale to the galaxy. They wanted fear to spread faster than fire. On a small monitor, Serene's comms officer pointed with a shaking hand. "Captain, look. The humans were not using biological crews. Their ships were piloted by something else, something mechanical. Through intercepted signals, they saw flashes of code, voices repeating commands with perfect coordination." An AI, Saren realized. Not just one, but many. A fleet of minds that never sleep. The humans had survived extinction not by hiding in flesh, but by binding their souls into machines. Their fleet was alive, but not human in the old sense. It was something new, something built from rage and memory. The Ghost Fleet began to shift formation. Dozens of ships moved as one, encircling the Dominion survivors. Every angle of retreat closed. Saren knew what was coming. "They're hurting us," she whispered. "This is a slaughter." Korvik's voice thundered across the channel. But even he sounded desperate now. "Fight to the last. The Dominion will not kneel to ghosts." The circle closed. Human weapons glowed brighter, preparing the final volley. But then, the voice returned. Calm, measured, filled with centuries of hate. "This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain." The human ships opened fire together. A wave of destruction lit the void. Dominion ships were torn apart in seconds. Whole squadrons vanished in white fire. Korvik's flagship shuddered violently, its hull splitting open. Flames consumed the bridge as he screamed his last curses into the void. His words were lost in static. When the fire cleared, only fragments remained. The once-proud Dominion fleet was gone. The alien fleets moved like rivers of light through the dark sea of space. Hundreds of warships gathered in orbit around the neutral zone, their silver hulls reflecting the pale glow of a dying sun. The Council had united for the first time in centuries. Fear of humanity had done what diplomacy never could. Old enemies now stood side by side, ready to face a ghost. Admiral Threx of the Zorith Empire stood at the command bridge of the largest vessel, his claws tapping against the steel rail. "We strike first," he growled. "If humans survived, they must be destroyed before they spread again." Not everyone agreed. Elder Vara, of the Lyrans, her eyes glowing softly, raised a hand. "We do not even know if they are alive."
What if the signal was only a remnant?
What if this is all shadows and echoes? The council chambers echoed with voices from every corner of the galaxy. Some demanded war, some pleaded for patience, yet all of them remembered the message. This is humanity's last broadcast. Your doom is certain. In the middle of the debate, alarms screamed. A new signal pulsed through every channel, stronger and clearer than the last. It carried no image, only a voice. A human voice. Calm, cold, unmistakable. Council of Worlds. The voice said, "You gather your fleets as you once did, when you burned our cities and poisoned our oceans. You think time erased us, but we never died. We waited, rebuilt. And now your judgment comes." The chamber fell silent. Elder Vara whispered, "It's them. It's really them." On the outer edge of the system, space began to tear. At first, it looked like lightning in the void, white cracks spreading across the stars. Then ships emerged. Human ships. But they were unlike anything the Council had seen before. The old human vessels had been crude compared to alien technology metal. Hulls, chemical engines, primitive weapons. But these ships glowed with a strange blue fire. Their surfaces shifted like liquid metal. No engines burned, yet they moved faster than any alien vessel. One by one, they appeared in silence. Dozens, then hundreds. Fleet that should not exist. Admiral Threx bared his teeth. Possible. Humans were broken. Their world was ash. A voice answered him not from comms, but from his ship itself. The human signal had forced its way into every system, into every screen, every speaker. You thought Earth was dead? You thought humanity weak. But we learned from you. We learned from war. We learned from betrayal. And now we have come to end what you began. The alien fleets formed defensive lines, thousands of weapons locked on targets. Fear crawled through every captain, every soldier. Still, one alien commander, General Cora of the Ver, spoke bravely. "Transmit to them, tell the humans we are not their enemies. Tell them we wish to talk." A reply came instantly. A single word, "No." The first human ship fired. It was not a laser, not a missile. It was something new, something the aliens could not understand. A beam of pure light spread across the battlefield, and an entire squadron of warships vanished. Not destroyed, not broken, gone. Panic exploded across the fleets. Admirals shouted orders. Ships scattered like frightened insects. But the humans did not chase. They advanced slowly, like predators certain of their prey. On the council ship, Elder Vera trembled. "This is not war. This is judgment." Admiral Threx slammed his fist. "We will not bow to ghosts." He commanded his fleet to charge. Hundreds of ships rushed forward, weapons blazing. The void lit up with fire. Explosions flashed brighter than suns. For a moment, it looked as if the aliens might break through. Then the humans answered, there. Fleet moved as one, not like separate ships, but like a single mind. Blades of light cut through enemy hulls. Alien weapons melted before they struck. The charging fleets were torn apart in minutes. In the council chamber, silence fell again. Dozens of alien leaders stared at the burning battlefield on their screens. Ships that had ruled the galaxy for ages were falling like dry leaves in a storm. One young alien whispered, "What are they?" The human voice returned, calm and merciless. "We are what you made us." The signal cut. And the humans kept advancing. The battlefield was silent except for the echoes of burning ships. Alien fleets that once ruled whole sectors were now scattered wrecks floating in the void. The council chamber shook with fear. No one had imagined this day. No one had believed the humans could return. Yet here they were, stronger than any empire. Their ships gliding forward like shadows of vengeance. Admiral Threx, blood running down his arm from a shattered console, stared at the dying light of his fleet. "They fight like gods," he whispered, his pride broken. "No weapon can touch them." Elder Vara, her silver eyes wet with tears, looked around at the terrified leaders. "We have only two choices," she said softly. "We kneel or we vanish." Human fleet halted just beyond the orbit of the neutral world. Every alien screen lit up again. This time not with only a voice, but with an image. A human stood before them. He was tall, wrapped in a dark uniform that bore no symbols, no rank. His eyes burned with a cold fire. His face carried no smile, no warmth, only the weight of centuries. "I am Commander Kale," he said. "I speak for humanity." The chamber froze. Every alien leaned forward, unable to breathe. "You burned our home. You slaughtered our children. You thought we were weak. You thought we would beg. Instead, we remembered. We built in silence. We turned every scar into steel, every tear into fire." He raised his hand. Behind him, human ships spread into a vast formation, each one glowing brighter than a star. "And now, we have returned to decide your fate." The council erupted into desperate shouting. Some screamed for surrender. Others demanded battle. One leader of the Veer clawed at his own throat in panic, crying, "We cannot fight this. They are beyond us." Commander Kale's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. This is not a war. This is judgment." A sudden silence fell. Every alien stared in dread. Then, in a calm tone, Kale revealed the truth. "For centuries, we studied you. We learned your weapons. We copied your engines. But we also discovered something greater, something you never imagined. We unlocked the core of space itself. We do not fly through the void. We bend it. We do not fire weapons. We erase matter. We are no longer bound by your limits. We are beyond you." A murmur of horror swept the chamber. Kale's gaze hardened. "We could erase every fleet, every world, every memory of your kind. But humanity has learned patience. We offer one chance. Kneel to the accord of Earth, place your fleets, your armies, and your councils under our command. Accept a new order, or be swept away." The chamber shook with rage and fear. Admiral Threx roared, "We will never kneel to you." He slammed his fist down, sending out the command to fire the last surviving fleet. But before the order could even leave his ship, every alien weapon went dead. Every engine shut down. Every screen went black. The humans had already taken control. Kale's face remained calm. "You see now, resistance is nothing. Choice is an illusion. Decide quickly obedience or extinction." Elder Vara stood, her voice trembling but steady. "I will kneel. My people will kneel. We have no other path." One by one, other leaders followed. Fear bent them faster than weapons ever could. Within minutes, most of the council had surrendered. But Admiral Threx did not bow. His claws dug into the floor. His voice shook with fury. "You will not own us. You will not own me." He drew his blade and slashed across his own chest, spilling his lifeblood onto the floor. His body collapsed in silence. Kale did not blink. "Be it those who refuse will vanish." With a wave of his hand, the human fleet released a silent pulse. The remains of Threx's ships dissolved into dust. Every trace of his empire vanished in a blink, as if it had never existed. Gasps and cries filled the chamber. The aliens knew then that humanity's promise was no threat. It was truth. Kale's image flickered one last time. "This is the new era, the era of humanity. Your councils are ours. Your fleets are ours. Your worlds live only because we allow them," the signal cut. In the void, the human fleet turned and vanished into blue light, leaving only silence behind. The council chamber remained frozen. The greatest powers of the galaxy, once rulers of stars, were now servants. Fear bound them tighter than any chain. Humanity had returned not as allies, not as victims, but as masters. Elder Vara whispered into the silence, "The age of aliens is over. The age of humanity has begun." Across the galaxy, every world trembled, knowing that the humans had turned off their polite mode forever.